Welcome to Mathematics Made Easier channel. This is your favorite mathematics tutor, Comfort and Welcome Matter. I welcome you to my class this minute. If today the very first of you joining my class, a special welcome goes to you. If you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please look down there and click on the subscribe button to subscribe. Then you also click on the notification bell to be the first to be updated whenever I upload a new tutorial. Thank you guys. All right, so today, our standard for today is on percentages. Percentages. All right, so that is why we've got into, oh, wait, am I sharing my screen? Let me confirm that I'm sharing my screen before, wait, let's see. Okay, so I wasn't sharing. Thank God. All right, so this is what we have for today on percentages, okay? All right, so I have some slides to show under percentages. We are going to cover understanding percentages. We are going to do relating fractions, decimals, and percentages. We are going to relate fractions, decimal, and decimal. Then we come to lesson 4, which is estimating the percentage of the number, finding and comparing with percentages, determining the whole, giving the part and percentage. Then we come to some mathematical modeling, influencing process, and review and assessment. So these are the things, these are the basic standard under substandard under percentages. Okay, so there are basically 4 or 5 things you look under percentages. Right. So let's look at the basic things first before we start building up. Trying to show the slide I prepared on that. Well, you guys can see my t-shirt. Thank you for that. I could see you guys can see it. And you're telling me it's nice, it's beautiful. Thank you. All right, so let's look at the slides I prepared on this. All right, so this I do now, so you guys can just, try hands on it as a kind of refresh. And I took this from iReady Mastery. So you guys can try your hands on it and assess yourself if you could still remember this on box plot. So just try your hands on it and maybe what's in next day. All right, so this is percent. That is used for, and the percentage, the symbol is used for percentage. Okay, the symbol for percentage is that. And you guys have been hearing percent, 100%, I had 20%, I have 40%, I have 80%. You guys have been hearing percentage. So I'm going to dive into details what really gets the percentage. So take your worksheet and do along with me. All right, so our standard is to convert what positive rational numbers into equivalent terminating decimals. Fractions, the fractions include mixed numbers and percentage. Limit fractions to the denominators of that. You guys can read. So by the time we finish with this whole thing, we come back to our standard and our learning target and make sure that we are on task and you guys have achieved your learning target for the day. All right, so our learning target. What is our focus? Our learning target is by the end of the class, we should be able to, 1, understand the meaning of percentage as a rate per 100. Percent means over, per, over. Cent means what? 100. Percent over 100. Whatever you get over 100, it's a ratio, it's a fraction. So whatever you get over was 100. Percent. Per means over, then 100 is that. Okay. Then we move on to the I can statement again. The I can statement is I can understand the meaning of a percent as a rate per 100. I can explain that percentages greater than 100 represent numbers greater than 1. All right, so we are relating percentages to functions and other stuff. So, all right, that is, I guess then why do we even need to learn this? Why percentage? Why do we study this in our school? What is our aim? How is it going to help us when we grow? Sometimes I hear kids say, "This aim, what is it going to help me when I grow? And I'm going to work and I don't need percentage." I said, okay, so why do we need to learn this? So while learning percentage is highly relevant because it helps you to understand everyday math. So it makes to make informed decision, financial decision, okay? Like when you go to groceries, this percentage helps you to make informed decisions right there. It helps to interpret data. It helps to form real-life situations, and it helps you to build foundational skills. So overall, percent knowledge empowers students with essential life skills and critical thinking in quantitative context. So that's really going to help you. This is important to learn this, or else you're going to crash when you go if you don't have the basic understanding and knowledge about what a percent means. But it's more than just solving problems. I mean, working the mathematical problem goes into details. All right, so where have you encountered percent in your life? I need you guys to tell me some things. Where have you encountered percent in your life? Just bring your life home, even into our school system. When you go home, where have you encountered percent in your life? That's a question you need to ask, essential question for you. Then you have F1. What is a percent? A percent is a ratio or rate that's let me take this off. That compares a number to 100. It's a ratio or rate that compares a number to 100. It can be expressed as a fraction with a denominator of 100. It can also be expressed using the symbol that. So you guys know the symbol for percent answers, okay? Right. So that's the basic definition of percentage. So in your own words, you should tell me what a percent means. Percent. What does it mean in your own words? Based on if you break percent into syllable, what does it mean? All right? Okay, so we are going to, so learning this, we are going to use two things. We are going to do two ways. We're going to use two ways. So we can use the 100 decimal grid or the 10th decimal grid. So the 100 decimal grid is divided into 100, and the 10th is divided into what? 1/10. All right, so this is basically a sample of it. All right, so we have the 100 decimal grid and we have 1/10 decimal grid. So if we have to find 40%, it means we can, if we are using the 100 grid, decimal grid, it means you're going to shade or color 40 of the little boxes. Okay, because each box represents what? This is 100. So each box represents what, you guys know? 1/10. Each box represents what? So we are going to show how many boxes to represent 40%. 40 out of the 100 little boxes, small boxes. So how many boxes should we shape if we need 40 over 100? 40 out of the 100 boxes. Then when it comes to 1/10 boxes, how many boxes or do you think we should color? Do you think we should color? If you need 40 or for tenths of it, 4 tenths, 4 out of the 10, 4 tenths. How many of it do you think we should color or shade to represent that? So we can use model to represent percentage, okay? We can use model to represent percentage. All right, so let's look at a sample question here. Well, I'm going to fix my name. You can also fix your name. So Comfort had 2 kittens, a gray and an orange kitten. I hope you guys can read it. So the orange kitten weighs 1.5 times as much as the gray kitten. Okay, you get it. Or 1.5 times as much as the gray. This is the gray kitten, and the gray kitten weighs 4 ounces. So, and we are saying that the orange kitten weighs 1.5 as much as 100 times as much as the gray kitten. So what do you think we should do? We don't know the weight of the orange kitten, but we know the weight of the gray kitten. But in as much as we don't know the weight of the orange kitten, we know how many times the enlargement. So we know that the orange kitten weighs 1 5/10 times as much as the gray kitten. So how do we get the actual weight of the orange kitten? This is very simple. Since you know the weight of the gray kitten and you know as much as whatever for the orange, you just need to multiply that to get the actual weight of the orange kitten. Okay, so we can use 2 steps. You can use a model to represent that, or you can also use equivalence ratio. Equivalence ratio. With equivalence ratio, so this is that for the equivalence ratio. All right, so 1 5 times 4, right? Equals what? 6. That is for the orange kitten. 1 5 times 4. That is for the orange kitten. So now you solve them as a ratio. So weight of orange kitten over weight of gray kitten. That is 6/4 or 6/4, based on how you compare them. You are comparing the orange to the gray. So 6/4. Now we need to use, the question is saying that express this as what? As a percentage, right? Yes. Okay, so the orange kitten weighs as 1 5/10 times as much as the gray kitten. What percentage? All right, so now we need what percent of that. So we need to convert this one. We need to find the equivalent ratio of this, okay? So first of all, let's see if I can pick up a pen here. All right, so let's pick up a pen here. So now we know 6/4. Then we need to express this as equivalent. So let's say 100 here. Then you ask yourself, what did they do to the 4 to get 100? What's happening? You could see that from 4 to 100, they multiplied by what? By 25 to get 100. Now, whatever I do to the denominator, do the same thing to the numerator. It means that we need to multiply the numerator by 25 to get the final answer. So what is 25 times 6? So that is 150. So we have expressed this as what an equivalent ratio. Right. So going back to the question, we could say that the weight of the orange kitten is 100%, because it has been expressed as over 100, which is percent. Are we okay? Right. So if you need to express as an equivalent ratio, you could compare, make the denominator to 100. Then you ask yourself, you need to ask yourself questions when you're solving mathematics problem. What did you do from this to get a 100, from the 4 to get 100? Okay, they multiplied 4 by 100. All right, so what do you need to also do? Because whatever I do to the denominator, do the same thing to the numerator. It means you apply the same thing to the numerator to get your final answer. Are we clear? Good, also. All right, so let's see the next question. So this is the time for group work. So, for my class, I always have stations for everyone. You go there, work in a group work, you discuss with your group members. Then you come back as a whole class to share whatever we discuss with ourselves. Let's review our learning targets. So 1, by the end of the class, we stated that by the end of the class, we should be able to understand the meaning of a percent as a rate per 100, per over 100. Rate is what you are measuring, so percent. You need to figure out what is up there. Parts of the whole. So parts, the whole is 100. What is the part there that you need to find? Then explain that percentage is greater than 100, represent number greater than 1. All right, so now we have an application question. So you guys will go and solve this application question and come back to me and tell me the answer. So the application question is, let me zoom it out so that you guys can see. How do I need to do? Let me take the pen out for I don't need the laser. What do I do? The data is just coming out. Are you guys okay? Can you see? I mean, I don't want to make anything so that it's everything will go. So this is application question. A car dealership sales 1 month are shown. So this is a dealership sale. The owner of the car dealership needs to order 50 more cars from the factory. The question is, based upon the sales shown, how many of each type of car do you recommend that the owner order? So this is your data. That is what will give you, help you to make your informed decision about how many, how uh, how many of each type of car. So these are the type of car, hybrid or electronic and gas powered. So I mean, you have the data shown over here. So this should help you to answer the question and bring back the solution to me. So let's summarize our lesson, understanding percent. All right, so a percent is a ratio or whether compares a number to 100, a percent can be written using the symbol, a percent can be greater than 100. So this is what we can use to represent percent, the 100 grid, decimal grid, or the 1/10, or we can even use the tick diagram to represent percentage. So this is 100. This is what 50% of that. That's half of the 100. All right. So basically, this is what we have for. So you have to tell me what this grid represents. 100 grid represents 1, 2, 3, 4, 40 boxes out of the 100. So that is what 40%. We don't have much time. I don't know if we can quickly walk through this. Let me see. Let me stop sharing. Share again. Let's see. Oh God. Let me see if I could use some of not working, guys. I want to keep it inking. Discard. Okay, so let's see if I could bring it back. Right. All right. Right, so this is one thing I like about this. I mean, McGraw book. I mean, it helps you. It helps the differentiated parts of the web to help with differentiation. All right, so this talks about ratio and percentages. This video talks about ratio and percentages. This also talks about, I mean, the percent is a part of the whole. How does one see that compares the quantity to 100? So 17%, 17 out of 100. 81% means 81 out of 100. All right, to write a path to whole ratio as a percent, write it as a ratio in the form of A over B. Multiply the numerator by the same number so that the denominator is 100. We write it using the symbol. That is what we did. For example, we have 3 tens here. So we make the denominator 100 here. You ask us, so what did they do to the 10 to get 100? They multiply the 10 by 10 to get 100. So what are you going to do to the 3 to get your final answer? Okay, multiply by the same number, which is 10. So that is 30 or 100. That is giving you 30%. Use a symbol for that. Let's see the next slide. If you can just do 4 of the slide, that's okay. How can you write a percent as a ratio? It is easier. 1, 2, okay. So write 40% as a ratio. So step 1, what do you think we should do? As a fraction? Oh, yeah. Then step 2, you simplify down. Oh, yeah. So divide it by common denominator. Okay. You divide this by what? You divide the numerator and denominator by the same number. So you simplify it down. You divide it by 20 and you're getting what? 20 out of what? Is it? 250, right? That's a planning method. So, right, so what you do here, you write this as a percent, make the denominator. So 1, write a fraction, then you go to make the denominator 100. You have to solve the questions. All right, so right as a fraction made the denominator 100. What did they do to the 2 to get 100? They multiply by 50. So multiply the numerator 2 by 50 to get a final answer. Yay! What's the final answer? 50%. Awesome. Write as what a percentage. Okay. All right, so write the percent as a fraction. So you guys know, you now know how to do it, right? If they ask you to write as a percentage, you need the equivalent ratio. If they ask you to write as a fraction, like 60/100 as a fraction, then you have to reduce it by what? The greatest common factor. So you divided this by 4, you are getting 425, and that's okay. So you can't simplify down again. Use the following steps to write 75% as a ratio in the simplest form. So first, write 75 as a ratio with a denominator of what? Denominator of what? Let me know. 100. Divide 75 and 100 by the same number. The greatest number divides both this word. Can it be 5? Let's see. Can it be 25? Can 25 goes into 75? Can 50 go to 75? So 75, 15 times 2 is what? 30. 15 times 5. Yeah, that should work. 15, 5, 5. Then, so 2 cannot be possible. 15. What about 25? So that's what you need to figure out. What is the greatest common factor of 75 and 100? Okay. The number should go into both of the numbers. So what else again? Determine what to multiply, right? So again, we're writing this as a percentage. So if you're writing as a percentage, then you need to make the denominator 100. Then ask yourself, what did they do to the 25 to get 100? They multiply by 4. What do you need to do to the numerator to get 100 to get your final answer? You multiply by 4 to get 44 by 100 to get your final answer. All right, so you guys can solve this and drag it to the correct answer. 60%. What is it giving you? What is it giving you right here? So 60%, you are expressing this as what? Determine which ratio as a fraction. So simplify down and you get a final answer. 64% simplify down, then 70% simplify down. Divide each both the numerator and the denominator by the greatest common factor. Okay, get a final answer. So you solve this question and you come here. So you simplify 88%. So 88 over 100. What can you divide by? Both the numerator and denominator to reduce the number. So to simplify, we need to use a math pen to simplify down. Okay. Then apply again. You solve this too, and you come out. So of the 20 students in the band, 70 play a wind instrument. What percent? What percent? So what do you need to do? So of the 20 students, that's the whole. So 17 over 20. What percent? You make the denominator 100, so that you can ask. So what do you need to do to the denominator to get? Right, so basically you go through the questions, take your time. That is why this is a video. I rushed through a bit because my time kind of limited. Raise the video, you can replay it and replay it and replay it and get better understanding. If you still need extra assistance, do not hesitate to email me or send a comment in the comment section or when seeing class. And I will show video and give you a dispatch and I'll be glad to assist you. All right, thank you so much for your time and attention. I believe this tutorial was helpful. If it was, please do not forget to give me a thumbs up down there and do not forget to share the links to your friends and your colleagues, okay? So I couldn't play the replay, show you guys the replay video, maybe I'll put that in my next video to summarize what as we move on to the next standard, the next topic or standard and percentage. This is just an introduction to let you know what a percentage means. How do you write percentage? What is the symbol for writing percentage? How do you convert the fraction to a percent? How do you convert a percent to a fraction? How do you simplify down? This is what we just looked at. And so why is my screen looking at so bright? Oh, like
Exactly.